Welcome everybody to this video presentation of mine. People talk about the rise of the Antichrist, and somehow we just put it on the back burner and think, well, that'll never happen. I'll wait until I see it. But we should have a heads up because some people don't think they'll ever see it, and so that we'll be kind of completely raptured out before that happens, and that could very well be, and I hope that's so. But we need to be on the alert either way because nobody knows the day or the hour, and we don't know exactly when the Lord's coming to take us home or when he's coming to judge the world. But we do know a few things. Paul says that day will not come unless the apostasy comes first and the man of lawlessness is revealed, who opposes and exalts himself above every so-called God or object of worship, so that he takes his seat in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And so this Antichrist is no myth, and the Apostle Paul mentioned it, and we see it probably could be starting to unfold right in front of us. And there's something interesting going on in Germany right now. They're having these great protests. 200,000 people across Germany are protesting against the AfD party. This is the alternate party for Deutschland. And so why are they so strung out on that? Well, you need to look at the news and see what's going on there. The reason they're strung out is because this AfD party is really a right-wing party, and a lot of people think kind of a neo-Nazi party. And this would never again 1933. That's what they're trying to say, is we're not going to allow that to happen. If it begins to happen, we're going to expose it. And so what happened was this AfD party and a bunch of other right-wing parties had a big meeting in January of 2024, and they started planning on, if they get in power, how to get rid of all the immigrants and a few other things, kind of like deportation. And while that seems like nothing much, but when it happens in Germany, then and immigration, unless you're German back to I don't know how long, that sounds a little bit fascist to me, neo-Nazi. Talking about races. And interesting, this party is also pro-Russian. And we're getting quite a bit of that because, Europe is getting sick and tired of the immigration, Islam, and all that stuff, where terrorists, and so they're starting to, think toward the right. And this could be the rise of, time to rise of the Antichrist. And you say, well, I don't think it'll come out of Germany. Well, let's look. The AfD is also pro-Russian, like I said, and it's strongest in Eastern Germany. And it's a populist party. Hundreds of thousands of people have been protesting across cities of Germany since early 2024, standing up against the Alternative for Germany party, a relatively new far-right nationalistic party that is known as the AfD. What has driven so many Germans to protest against a small, extremist political party? Well, I just told you, the protesters in Germany are directly responding to the AfD's radical policy positions and the fact that it's currently second place in the polls, for the upcoming, election 2025. And they could get in, they said Hitler would never get in. And you say, well, what's this got to do with Hitler? Well, I'll show you. In prophecy, there's the rise of Antichrist is predicted in the Bible, and some of the ways that we can figure that out is by looking at some of the prophets like Daniel. And here's one of the things Daniel talks about. He says, after this I beheld, and there's these four beasts, but here, this one, I saw another like a leopard, which had four wings on its back, of a fowl, and it had four heads, and dominion was given to it. And so a couple things here. First, it had four wings of a fowl. It had four heads, and dominion was given to it. So you say, well, what has this got to do with the rise of Antichrist? Well, I'll show you. You know, in the book of Revelation, there was also this beast, which I saw was like a leopard. And this is a sea beast. It was 7 heads and 10 horns, and chapter 13, and it comes up, but it's like a leopard. And so, but it had feet like a bear, mouth like a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Say, well, what's this got to do with the leopard in Daniel? Well, there's a similarity. Why does John talk about this leopard? You know, we know the leopard in Daniel is really Greece, because it's interpreted. But so why is John talking about a leopard here? And in 95 AD, you know, Greece had already fallen. Alexander had come and gone, and even his 4 kingdoms that rose out of that had fallen. But here, so why is he comparing this to this beast that rises up, this Antichrist? This is really the verse for the Antichrist rising up. It's like the beast of the sea. And it was like a leopard. Well, I'll show you how this fits. You know, here's something in Daniel. It says, those 4 beasts, those great beasts, which are 4 kings, and which arise out of the earth. It's actually which will arise. You know, Hebrew doesn't have the, it does not have the future tense. It has an imperfect. And so an imperfect means it hasn't been completed yet. And so it's something yet to happen. And this was, you know, spoken even after Nebuchadnezzar had already risen. And so this was later on in, you know, after Nebuchadnezzar had come and gone. So what is Daniel doing here? He's talking about these 4 kings in the future at the end of days, you see. And so these 4 kings here, or these 4 beasts, are kind of like a double fulfillment. For instance, the bear was Medo-Persia, but it might not be the bear today, you see. And this leopard was Greece back then, but is it Greece today? No, these are 4 kings that will rise, and same with the lion, and same with the dragon. So I just want to give you that before we step to the next thing. And here's a picture of this beast in chapter 13 of Revelation. This is how the Antichrist is looked at as kind of like a composite beast. And what's interesting here is this thing has 7 heads, count them up. But the way they set it up here, 4 of these heads are leopard heads. And one's a bear, one's a dragon, and one's a lion. So count them up, 7 heads. So this is the 4 heads of the leopard is what I'm really wanting to look at here. You know, it says in Daniel 7:6, behold, I saw another like a leopard, which had 4 wings of a fowl, and the beast had 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. 4 heads. And here we have it in a picture form. And whoever did this has it coming up out of the sea. So he makes the connection. You know, the sea beast was like a leopard. And so we need to understand these 4 better. And, you know, in Daniel chapter 7, like I said, these 4 beasts are deciphered, or they're interpreted. The interpretation is given to Daniel. But only one of them, actually, only the 4th beast, which had 10 horns and all that. And so that was interpreted, and it was Rome, and then it becomes the little horn. But the other ones are not interpreted until chapter 8. And this is where this leopard beast. But these are all end time things. So in chapter 8, we see this one is going to be interpreted. It says, and the shaggy goat is the, so there was another picture of a goat and a ram. And so this goat was Greece, is the king of Greece. And the large horn between its eyes is the first king, which was Alexander. And the 4 horns that replaced the one that was broken off, 4 kingdoms, you see, that will emerge from his nation but will not have the same power. So there we get this foursome here, and remember this four heads of of this leopard, and the swiftness of the wings. And then he goes on to the next verse here, verse 23, talking about the little horn. And this is where this little horn comes out of. And in the latter time, see, of their kingdom, of this kingdom here, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king, you see, a king. Remember I said, these four beasts are four kings. A king will fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up, shall arise. And his power will be mighty, but not of his own power. Well, who gives him his power? Well, we know. Revelation 13:2. The dragon gives him his power and his seat and great authority. And he shall destroy wonderfully. Remember, he's called the destroyer in chapter 9 of Revelation. And shall prosper in practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. Who's the holy people? Israel. You say, well, they're not that holy. Yeah, but they were a people set apart, and so in Daniel, the holy people are Israel. And Israel's come back to the land, you see. And this is the latter time when they come back to the land. The latter time, the end time. And when all these four beasts will rise up. And so this is the rise of the Antichrist. And so what's this leopard beast? So it's no longer Greece, but I believe, and a lot of people believe, is the four heads here represent the four German Reichs. And so this is actually Germany. It's a symbol of Germany, leopard tanks. But looking at the four Reichs, in 962 AD, Otto I became the first German emperor, crowned emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. And there was German kings all the way through. There's Austrian kings, but mainly German kings. And so this is like the first Reich, and it almost lasted almost 1,000 years till 1806, when Napoleon defeated the last of the Holy Roman emperors, and he basically annulled it. So that was the end of the First Reich. But the Second Reich is in 1871. Otto von Bismarck, he joined up, got the Germans together again, and they fought against France in 1871, and it turned on also in the First World War, and that's when it ended in 1918. And the Third Reich, we know that's Hitler and the Nazis in 1933, and then it ended in 1945. And some see this as the deadly wound. One of the heads of this beast, one of these seven heads, had a deadly wound. We just assume it was other heads, but it could be one of the heads of the leopard. And they divided Germany up into two, and they said never again. Not only never again, but they're never going to have Germany exist again. So they divided it between Russia and Soviet Union and the West. But lo and behold, in 1989, they reunited. And now we have the Fourth Reich. And it says like I was reading, the little horn out of this fourth horn, a little horn comes. And it, that's, so this could very well be where the Antichrist comes out of, the Fourth Reich, Germany. And here we have a picture of these four heads and leopard tank. But here's something, the wings of a fowl were on the back of this leopard beast. And the word for fowl in this text here is the Hebrew word oph. I just want to show you this, so I'm not just saying anything. Oph. And oaf means like a barnyard fowl, like a rooster. And you know, the rooster is France's emblem. And so a lot of people see France and Germany as the 2 feet, almost, you know, the 10 toes, the 2 main components of this European Union, this revived Roman Empire. But it's also could be the Fourth Reich. So why is Germany bewildered about how to halt this rise of the AfD? You know, some things you can't stop. You know, you can protest, you can let everybody know about it, but sometimes, you know, that day will not come, Paul says, the day of the Lord when we're raptured, unless the apostasy comes first and the man of sin is revealed, and who exalts himself above every so-called God or object of worship, so that he takes his seat in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And so, you know, maybe they have a reason for protesting here. Maybe something big is coming, and we should take note. You know, the little horn comes out of one of the 4 horns, and it says, and out of one of them came forth a little horn. Now, like I said, this is Daniel chapter 8. So in Daniel chapter 7, all they do is explain the 4th beast, the dragon-like beast. But in chapter 8, through this goat, they explained the leopard beast, and this little horn comes out of it. You know, there's a little horn in the 4th beast too, comes out among the 10 horns, but here it comes out of this fourth horn, and this is you know, typical of Greece, but there's a double fulfillment here. So, and out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceedingly great, toward the south, toward the east, and toward the pleasant land. Interesting. You can kind of see there's 3 things here. 1 is the south, 2 is the east. What's the pleasant land? That's the west. You know, Israel is always considered, because it's on the west of the Mediterranean's on the west of it, that this is the west. And the south would be Egypt, but the east, I don't know, it could be Russia, or it could be like Iran. But you know, toward the south, toward the east, and toward the pleasant land. So he's going to come into the pleasant land. And here's another thing about him. He's where does he come from? He comes from the north. See, he's the king of the north. And we see that a little further in Daniel, you know, about the king of the north, that he'll rise and he'll exalt himself, and he will set his pavilion between the seas on the holy mount, and you know, he will you know, defeat the holy people. He'll destroy them. And when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, Jesus said, you know, the desolation thereof is near. Well, Israel is, and Jerusalem will be trampled underfoot for 40 and 2 months. And that's what's coming. And so this very well could be where the Antichrist comes out of Germany. Fourth Reich, at the end of days. What else? Yeah, here's this is an explanation of the leopard beast with its 4 heads. Here, I'll bring this up again. Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall arise, shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. And I beheld another leopard, and he had 4 heads. Now, here, this is Greece. Leopard, known for its speed, has these wings. Greece conquered world rapidly under Alexander. Now this just a type of the Antichrist. 4 heads, after he died, it split into 4 heads. And the leopard has these 4 heads. And here it was the 4 horns. But here, he reigned from 31, this whole kingdom, till what? 168. You see? Even the 4 horns there, the 4 that split up between his 4 generals, it didn't last. By 95, when AD, when John is writing the book of Revelation, he's talking about future, this thing which was like a leopard. You see, Greece had already fallen, and it's, the 4 parts of it were no more. The Ptolemies were defeated by Rome, and Syria, defeated by Rome. Rome was in Palestine. They defeated Israel. There was no temple when John wrote at this time at 95, because temple was destroyed in 70 AD. So, this is talking about this future beast who, make war with the saints, you see. It's after 95. So it's talking about the Antichrist. So, hope you enjoyed this video, and hope you keep on the alert. Something to watch. I'm not saying it necessarily is fully true, but it's just a thought I had, and as I was studying this book of Revelation. So I hope you enjoyed this, and keep on the alert. God bless.